I had an interesting experience, or at least I thought it was. I ordered a book from Amazon, and I'm really cheap, so I always get used books. Thornbirds, maybe some of you know it. Cost about $2. I used hardcover. You might be able to see how brown the paper is. It has that nice smell too of an old book. But here I was reading the Thornbirds, and all of a sudden, something falls out of the page. Something a little like this. Dried flowers that have been pressed. And I have no idea how long they've been in there. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I put it aside. And about 50 more pages in, another one. And I'm okay. And by the time I leafed through everything, I had 5. There's 5 there. Now, I'm not very good at arranging, 50-year-old dried flowers. They were falling to pieces under my fingers. So I thought, let's just get them on a piece of glass. And that's what I'll do. I want to be really careful here because it's not focusing. Not focusing very well. It's clear glass. And you can see let's take it over to the window. You can kind of see those 40 or 50-year-old things from somebody's garden who's probably not even alive anymore. Some Thornbirds fan who decided to pick something and press it in a big book. It's hard to focus here. And in the Thornbirds, it's interesting because Father Ralph, if you've ever seen the TV show or read the book, Father Ralph picks a rose to remind himself of Meggie, whom he is forbidden to love. He does anyway. I think there's a big fire at Drogheda and the rose garden barely survives. And he finds a rose and takes it back to the Vatican as a remembrance. And he presses it in the Bible, probably. I guess that's what horn dog priests did then. They pressed things in the page of the Bible. Unfortunately, you see the glare here. Yeah, that's better a bit. So this was the best I could do to preserve these. I don't know if they're going to stay. They're very, very fragile and dry. But between the two panes of glass, maybe they'll be kept in one place. And if I'd had the skill and wasn't so afraid of everything falling to pieces, I would have arranged them or put something behind them to back them. But instead of that, I just I put them between glass or no under glass. And who knows who just imagine who might have done that, who might have gone out in the garden and picked some flowers or maybe looked at a bouquet and thought, and just sort of one by one put them in this big book and then pressed it. Occasionally I used to press leaves when I was a kid, maple leaves. And you have to put a lot of weight on them. I used to take wax paper and iron the leaves, put some paper on top and then iron them. So you get some wax on the leaves and they still get crumbly, but they'd last. And I'd find, it's an interesting thing to be reading a book and you find this stuff. Here's my troll. I find it interesting and strange and kind of wonderful and kind of eerie. I found a lot of things in books that I bought secondhand. I found addresses, I found old letters. I found newspaper clippings and old magazine clippings that go way, way, way back. First time I found this, my camera's giving me the 5-minute warning. Whoa, this is something that may fall to pieces. We don't know that. It's so delicate. That's why I'm filming it now. It amazes me. Let's take it over to the window again. It's like it's just growing there, you know? With everything behind it. Look at that. Wow. I think that's great because the sun is actually coming out for the first time all day. The sun is coming out and it's shining through. And you can see a little bit of the colors, which are very, very faded. There's a bit of the purple. If you were really good at plants, you'd know which plants these were and you'd know which flowers. And if anybody's out there watching this, which I hope they are, they might even be able to tell me what these plants are and maybe what part of the world they're from. The book takes place in Australia and partly in New Zealand too, and other places, Rome, the Vatican. So if anybody can recognize these things and know what they are, identify them. That is really beautiful. Look at that. It's hard to get it focused because there's a screen right behind it. That's probably the best I can do. But they're really lovely and very delicate. And I suppose they'll eventually just fall apart. But that was a special bonus in my reading. I don't know if that's ever going to happen to me again. I'd be surprised.